Welcome back to Carving Fairways. Today I'm thrilled to bring you an exclusive course preview for the Disc Golf Masters World's 2025 layout here at Bryant Lake Park in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Over the next few minutes we'll walk all 18 holes together, feeling that signature lake breeze, threading your shots through towering pines and mastering the subtle elevation changes that will define your round this July. Sit back and relax as we start driving through this outstanding course. Hole 1 is a par 3 at 402 feet that plays to the short pin, tucked just off the fairway's midpoint. With no OB on either side except some heavy fairway, you can't afford to miss your line today. There's normally a nice breeze pushing off the water, so make sure to shoot straight and have yourself a long look at birdie. Hole 2 is a par 3 at 294 feet that's straight out to a fast green sitting on a little knoll. Once these trees fill in a little, the left lane gets pretty pinched off, so you want to play it safe to the right with a smooth backhand throw. The green gets a little quick, so make sure to land easy. Hole 3 is a par 3 at 240 feet. It has a nice little uphill shot here. The distance isn't too much the problem. It's making sure you land right next to the basket. There's a nice little fall off cliff on the other side, so get a little backhand, turn it right in there, slide right into the chips for a little birdie. Hole 4 is a 250-foot par 3 that's all about precision down the middle. With a fence guard in the right and tree limbs crowding to the left, you need to shoot something straight. You got a nice little backboard, so if you can hit the chips right in front, you'll scoot right on up and be sitting under the pin. Hole 5 is a par 3 that measures at about 340 feet, playing closer to 300 though. You got a nice gentle landing zone that sits nestled in between all the trees in the middle. Avoid getting stuck up on either the right or left, and you'll find yourself scooting just inside the bowl for a birdie look. Hole 6 is a par 3 that measures at about 221 feet, plays closer to 250 with the uphill climb. Lean on a nice smooth backhand turnover that climbs the hill into a controlled space. If you hit that left gap, you're going to be sending yourself down a rolling hill and into trouble. Hole 7 is a 440-foot par 4 with risers which the basket sits on. Don't ramp up too much power. Any left side kick and your disc tumbles down that steep hill and into trouble. Instead, get out a nice flexing backhand or straight flying forehand to nestle into the sand before the risers. From there, you have a nice upshot to land yourself in a perfect birdie position. On to hole 8 is a par 4 at 480 feet, arguably the most demanding hole on this course. You want to dial in a distance driver directly off the tee, landing just short of the patch of trees in the center of the fairway. From there you either have the left or right lane to attack the green. Don't get too greedy though. On the backside of this green is an extremely steep hill that if your disc goes skipping, you'll find yourself climbing down and trying to pitch back up. Hole 9 measures at 306 feet but plays closer to 330 with the uphill climb. The smart play is dead center, but if you veer left, you got another big hill to challenge with, and in the right, you have such a thick lane of trees that it'll be hard other than just pitching your way out. Make a nice straight shot, set yourself up for an easy par. Hole 10 is a 300-foot downhill par 3 guarded by a corridor of pines and trees. You need a nice, huge shot out to the right that dives down into the left to try and cut through those trees and land yourself within the green. All these trees fill up quite a bit, so make sure that you really think about this one and maybe give it a practice run prior to. Hole 11 is a par 3 at 270 feet, but plays closer to 250 with the downhill. Toss yourself a nice, stable mid-range out to the right so you can slide in under the basket. Be wary of these branches again as they'll fill out and kick you into circle 2. Hole 12 plays at 342 feet as a par 3 from tee to green, but your opening challenge is threading the gap around the lone guardian tree. After that, as long as you're finishing in the middle, you should have your nice, easy par by kicking right up. Although if you go too far left, you do find OB, yet you will be in the road and then really pitching out. Hole 13 is a par 3 at 193 feet, and it's all about touch. Nice, easy backhand fading into the right or a forehand to make sure you get enough distance not to sit inside the lip, but not too much distance that you're pushing far. Land within the green here and you have a tap in. Heck, you might even ring up that ace. Hole 14 is at 345 feet as a par 3. This is your biggest straight shot of the round. Everything to the left into the trees is OB, as there's also a pond that sits back there, so you need to make sure to keep this one straight. Pushing this one too far and you end up on the right side. Easily, this one will certainly be a steal if you're able to grab the birdie. So dial your disc in and make your shot. Hole 15 is a par 3 that climbs a 250 foot up a staircase, framed by 2 trees guarding the line. The basket sits just behind the second tree on the right. I trust a nice turnover or a good forehand blast down the middle to let it drift right into the chips. You got a nice little backboard, so if you do overpower, you should be good to go. Hole 16 plays at 239 feet down the middle. Do not land on either the right side or the left side, or you will again be pitching out to try and save bogey. There's a pretty cool big old rock here that prevents the straight line, but landing inside of it, you can slide your disc right up and over it to land yourself inside the pin. Hole 17, the signature hole here at Bryant Lake, on top of the world they say. A par 4 at 558 feet. You've got a huge blasting shot right out into this open fairway. Do not go too far left as you land into that pond, and too far right, you'll be in some thick trees. Aim for something that you can flex into the middle of this fairway. Give yourself a nice look to push yourself into those chips as a second shot to hopefully attack for birdie on your third. Hole 18, a par 3 at 423 feet that plays all of that and a little bit more. You'll need a big old shot out of the gate to land in the middle of this one, and then push your second shot a little higher than normal so that you don't get stuck up on the ring of rocks lining circle 1. End your round with a nice easy upshot and you might be able to secure that par. And that wraps up our run through of Bryant Lake. From the elevation changes to the fun open shots, this course has a little bit of everything. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to Carving Fairways for more disc golf course breakdowns. See you on the next one.